Hello, and welcome to the second week of the O.W.L's Readathon. So for the first week, I didn't do very well. I only finished one book, which was my Charms exam, The Paper Magician, and I only started a week in Wednesday, I don't know. So I didn't do very well. But I did started my second book, which was The English Patient, and I am now only 100 pages left to finish it. So I will finish it today, for sure. Like, I'm not going to sleep until I finish this book. Unless I'm very sleepy, because I have to sleep, because I have a lot of things to do tomorrow morning, as writing my internship paperwork. So, yeah, I am on my pajamas again, surprise, because I washed myself. I went to the gym and I took a shower and everything. And what I did today was actually finishing one of the introduction parts to my thesis. And I sent it to a colleague to review. And now I am just reading a little bit and doing a pause because tomorrow I'm going to take it seriously on my internship paper. So I decided to take a little bit of a break, if you know what I mean. And so I decided maybe I could show you my room if you want. So it's getting a little bit dark because it's very late. It's already 7 p.m. And why haven't I filmed sooner, you think? Because I have been writing my thesis. Yay! Sorry, yeah. I only talk about this. I know, I'm very boring. But yeah, so I decided to show you my room. I think he's sort of okay to show you. So I'm just gonna proceed to do that, okay? So yeah, give me a moment and I will do it. I hope that you guys enjoy my room. And yeah. Okay, so I turned on the lights for you guys. So here is my door. I'm gonna go in. And in here I have my Pinocchio. Hello! I bought this when I was in Italy doing Erasmus, and I love him. And then I have my stuff on top of my dresser. I have some Disney figurines that are collectibles. I love them. They are beautiful. I have a carousel, I have some music boxes, and I have some remembrances from faculty, from college. Then I have this mirror. Yeah, that's me. Hello, everybody. So I'm gonna go to the back now. I have my heater because my bedroom is the coldest part of the house in winter. And you're going to say, well, but it is spring. Yes, it is, but Portugal has not been having springtime. It's raining, thundering, hailing, and other stuff. So I need my heater. In here I have my book cover for travels and such, and an appendix with a lot of legislation of the course that I'm taking, also a shirt. Then I have my bedside table, and these are my parents, and this is the next book that I'm hoping to read, which is For My Transfiguration, and Stutter Sleep from by Stephen King. Then I have some headphones, and I have my alarm clock with a little froggy that I took from one of trips that I made. He's a cute froggy, isn't he? And then I have my lamp. Then I have my bed. This is my bed, where I always have my slipper, my giant slipper for the 2 feet. I have a Cheshire Cat pillow because who doesn't love Cheshire Cat? And then I have the place where I recharge my computer, basically. This is what it is. With my piggy bank and a giant candy. This is not a candy, by the way. This is plastic, so just for you guys to know. I have the book that I'm currently reading in here. I have my computer, which is currently on because I am editing my O.W.L's first week. So I'm currently at 54% of exporting, so I hope that this can be ready soon. Then I have my lamp, some notebooks. This is my agenda, and obviously I have an owl as a pen because I am obsessed with owls. And yeah, this is my Oxford dictionary because I'm writing my thesis in English, so I need that dictionary. Then I have some other things in there, some stars in the wall, some owls, I have some stuff in there as well, some shells, a witch on the ceiling, and then I have some Moroccan things. I have a candle inside of that thing. I have a bee, I have a fairy, I have a Portuguese traditional doll, I have some CDs that I don't hear anymore. I have an Aladdin lamp, the meaning of my name framed there. Then I have my windows. My view is kind of not that special, although I do like to see that there's a park in there because green spaces are important, people. And then I have this thingy here, which is pretty cool. You see? It's just so relaxing to see. And I have another owl because you can't have enough owls in your life. And this is my chair. And then I have this little cabinet here where I have some books and some stuff. In here I have my pillow, and in here this my mother made for me, and this is like the initials of my name, so Catarina Inês dos Santos Prata, and this is a teddy bear because I like teddy bears. And then in here we have a little bit of blood because I am a blood donator. Then I have two octopuses because I love octopuses. This one is kind of a flashlight, you see, and this one is just made by hand. And then I have a Pokeball because I love Pokemon. And in here I have, this is from Fairy Tail, the manga and the animation. This is the Aries key, in which you can summon the spirit of Aries, which is my sign, so that's why I have it. And then here I have some books. These books are in Italian, these two. They are Italian classics that I brought in Milan. Then I have the heavy metal book. I have some coloring books that I don't use. And I have a dictionary of Portuguese words. I have the complete La Fontaine works. I have the complete Sherlock Holmes. And I have short stories for each one of the doctors for Doctor Who. Then I have in here, oh hello little one, in here I have all of the books that I use for studying, for my thesis, and for other things. This one is pretty important because I'm in the area of law and criminology and psychology of justice, so I need this one. This one is about the brain on drugs and alcohol. This is about the roots of violence. This is about suicidal behavior in prison. This one is about violence in intimacy, and this one is The Anatomy of Violence by Adrian Rain, and he's a genius, and I love that book. This one is another owl with the same color of eyes that I have, so I love this owl. And it's also orange, which is the color of my course here in Portugal, so yeah. Then I have a little pig from Angry Birds, and I have two more pigs. This one was a friend that gave to me, and this one my dad gave to me, I think, on a Valentine's Day, so yeah. And then I have Jack Skellington there, just crippling himself. There is a place where I have pretty much all of my notebooks, and there I have more books. This one is not mine, this one is from my boyfriend, but he wants me to read it to know if it's good or not. This one is a classic, Madame Bovary, and these two are two Virginia Woolf books that I haven't put on my study where I have the other books. So it's here, and that's pretty much it. It's, well, I have my wardrobe there, but I'm not going to open it. It's not because it is not perfectly tidy, it's because I just don't want you to go through my entire wardrobe of clothes because it's not interesting. And then in here I have a witch, and in there I have another owl because you can't have enough owls. And so yeah, we're going to finish this tour for now, everybody. Bye bye! So, hello, good morning, and yes, I am again in my kitchen and again in my pajamas because I am having some breakfast. And the day that I could sleep, which was actually today, I didn't sleep anything. So, story of my life. But yeah, I have some butter toasts and I have some milk in here in my favorite mug. It's like best student, and the dog is searching for his diploma. It's just so cute. I just use this to feel a little bit more studying when I'm not. So I just wanted to say that last night I finished the English Patient, which was my History of Magic exam. So I have now nailed 2 exams, in the space of 1 weekish. So I'm pretty happy about that. But now the big guns are coming. So the big books are coming, and I have to just see my time perfectly because I have internship, I have my thesis, and I have to read these books. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about The English Patient before I start reading my next book, which is going to be my Transfiguration book, and that is Dr. Sleep by Stephen King, which is a beast of a book. This is like 500 and something pages, I believe. Yeah, it is 574. Wow, this is big. I shouldn't have picked this, but it was the only one with a cat on the cover, so I had to pick it. And I'm fairly excited to read it. But as I was saying, The English Patient. So I absolutely love that book. It's coming on to one of my favorite classics for now. I absolutely have to watch the movie. It was beautiful. It was about these 4 people that just came together, and it comes back and forth with their stories in the time of the Second World War, and it's just beautiful. Like, there's basically, it starts in a sort of an Italian house where this nurse is taking care of this burnt English patient, which gives the name to the book, obviously. And you don't know who he is because he remembers everything from his life but not his name, or so he says. And so that's one of the mysteries of the entire classic novel, is that you are trying to figure out who he is, or if you're gonna know who he is. But at the same time, to that house there comes an Italian dude, which is supposed to be familiarized with the nurse, and a guy that dismantles bombs, an Indian that dismantles bombs. And they all reach the same house, and it's about their relationships, and it's about the stories and traumas that each of them has because of the war, and it's just beautiful. Like, the writing is so poetic, and I actually found out why, because the author actually has a lot of poetic works, like poetry, published, so it is kind of normal that his book has a poetic vibe to it. But the characters are so fleshed out, like all of their faults and all of their good things are just so fleshed out, and you have some parts that just dissect a little bit of what human relationships are. You have 2 love stories in a way, because one of it is not kind of a love story, but it kind of is, or at least in my opinion. You have some tragedy because, of course, you are reading about the war. You learn a lot about how to dismantle bombs, which was not a thing that I was thinking that I would like, but I did. And it's just so beautiful. It's just so lyrical, so amazing. And I don't know, I loved it. And if you ever want to pick up a classic that is small and that's going to be, although it is supposed to be slow paced, it actually read as a fast paced book. So if you want to pick up a classic like that, I thoroughly recommend The English Patient. I have to just think about the book and think if I'm going to do a review or not. And this is falling. Okay, we are completely fine. But if I do a review, I don't know what to say. It was too perfect for me to actually say anything about it. So yeah, that's that. And so I am going to now start my Transfiguration exam, which is Dr. Sleep by Stephen King. And this is basically the sequel to The Shining. And a lot of people say that you can read this without having read The Shining. But just for comprehension purposes of the characters, I reread The Shining in October, and I still remember pretty much everything because it was fairly recent. So I decided to pick this up, and in the first page, the first chapter is like preliminary business, and in here there's a thing that says, "Fear is an acronym of fuck everything and run." And supposedly this is a saying of the Anonymous Alcoholics. And I was like, excuse me, fear is an acronym of fuck everything and run. Like, this is just perfect. Like, Stephen King is just perfect. And I don't know, like, I missed reading stuff by him. Of course, he didn't write this. This is a saying. But yeah, and the fact that there's a lot of quotes by the Anonymous Alcoholics before you even start the book kind of reminds me of Danny's father, because Danny, the child in The Shining, is our main character in here. He's supposed to be all grown up, and I think he's a doctor now. Yeah. And his father, Jack Torrance, in The Shining, he was the main character, sort of, and he was an alcoholic. So I don't know if Danny still remembers that, or if he's now an alcoholic himself. I hope not, because he saw what that did to his family, and it was kind of hard to see his dad descending in all of that vicious spiral of alcoholism and everything that came out from there. I don't want to spoil The Shining, so I don't know why we're talking about alcohol so much. We will see, I guess. And so I'm going to start reading this before my toasts get cold, and I'm going to try and read a little bit on my breakfast, and then I will see if I have time to read it again. So I will update you later. And for those of you that don't know, today is the 11th day? Yeah, the 11th day of April, so the 10th day of the Readathon, and I'm kicking ass. Or not, but let's just pretend that I am, okay? So, my eyes are twitching because I have been literally working on a computer for days and days on end, and I'm feeling like I can't see straight anymore. So I've been doing kind of schematic thing of my internship report, and I am going to give it a break because my eyes are hurting, and I have to ask a colleague if they are doing the same margin separation, because I am reading in the regulations of the American Psychological Association, but I am not sure if those are updated or not, because I got the feeling that they are not really updated as they should, because I am writing and the entire writing sounds really odd. Like, for you to have a notion, I have a 3 centimeter margin on the left side, and then I have a 2.5 centimeter in the right side, so the text is just all strange, if you know what I mean. So I have to ask if those are updated or not. I also wanted to tell you that I already read 50 pages of this beast, which is not a lot, as you can probably see. It's that %, which is nothing. But I've read it. I am on a good path so far, and apparently, although I didn't know, I chose the perfect book for Transfiguration, because not only it has a cat on the cover and a cat in the story, but it does have some shape-shifting kind of thing, which I can't talk about, or else I will spoil people that would eventually want to read this book. But unbeknownst to me, I actually chose a book that had something to do with the original theme of Transfiguration. So I'm very happy about that, which kind of is making me more satisfied in a way for choosing this and more pumped up for reading it. And everything is going wrong in this book, as per usual. So we start off with Danny, still a little child, which is good because it kind of gives you the sequence of what happened in The Shining and now to this one. But it's now opening to like a grand new thing, which I'm kind of getting concerned about because it kind of has the presence of a cult, sort of. I cannot say anything else without spoiling you. But it's kind of weird, and I can't wait to see where this is going, and I hope it goes on a good way, because it is kind of strange. And I just now noticed that my skin is completely filled with pimples for some reason, and I'm going to put the blame on stress because, let's face it, I've been stressed and my lips are all cracking. My god, I'm a disgrace today. I should have slept more. That's the conclusion I reach. So hi, did you miss my sleepy face or the back of my wheel? Because that is what you're getting. And no, again, I am not driving, everybody, just so that you guys know. It is freaking raining outside, as you can see through the window, but I'm going to my internship, which starts in 10 minutes. So I got my book, Dr. Sleep by Stephen King, with me, and I decided to read just a few more pages because I am loving this book. Like, Stephen King is always the best. Like, I start reading his works and I'm like, am I going to like this? Am I not going to like this? And then I'm like, of course, why was I doubting that I was going to like it? Like, he's a master, even though this is probably not his best book because it's kind of weird in a not coolish way. But it is cool in another way. So I really like it. I obviously love The Shining more. You can't have a sequel as good as the first book in some genres. I don't believe in that. But yeah, I am already on page 240. And remember that I started this book yesterday and I didn't have that much of time to read it as well because I was working on my internship papers and on my thesis. And yeah, so this was pretty much all at night and of course at breakfast and something like that. So I am very happy about this. If I continue on this rhythm, Transfiguration will be done in a snap. So I am very happy about this and I am not going to waste any more time. I'm going to read a little bit more to see if I can finish this chapter and then I will go to my internship and then I will update you. What do you think of that? I think it's a good idea. So hello, and to make a difference, welcome to my kitchen again and to my pajama self. So I am now taking my breakfast and I should be taking it faster if I wanted to go to the gym, but I think I'm not going to the gym today because the place where I do my part-time job is having an event for the night, and that for me as a worker translates into being standing throughout the entire night, almost 10 hours of work. So it's not going to happen because if I go to the gym I'm just gonna die. And I kind of need to rest a little bit, so I have to clean the house, and I'm gonna rest because, yeah, I don't know, I don't want to go, I don't want to just feel tired, I want to be on my best for tonight, so I think I'm not gonna go. And apart from that, and from me whining about my life and the fact that I'm tired, I have to talk about Dr. Sleep by Stephen King, which is my Transfiguration book and the third that I'm reading this month for the O.W.L Readathon. So I am currently on page 404, which means that I am 100 and something pages almost to the end of this book. So you can see I am currently here. Yes? Okay, yeah, I'm currently here, so I only have this thing left. And I am pretty amazed on the speed that I'm reading this because I am not reading it in the afternoon or anything because I have my thesis to work on and my internship paper. So I'm just reading this when I can, like at nights or in the morning while I take breakfast, and this is just going by with such a fast speed. And now everything is happening, like the major plot points are happening, and oh my lord, is this getting nowhere. Like this is going in such a fast pace, and I'm really enjoying the story, but I don't think that this is the best King book that I've ever read. It's interesting, but it's not as scary as The Shining, and it's not as scary as Misery, and in a way, like, scary is different for everyone, but what we have in here, it's a normal, it's not normal because nothing that Stephen King writes is normal, but we have just a novel about this cult that kills children, and this character that we knew from The Shining that is trying to help one of those children, and that is it. Like, you don't have any profound reminiscence of anything, you don't, like, I don't know, it's just, it's a cool book, and I'm liking it, but it doesn't translate the best of Stephen King to me, at least. And I haven't read that much of Stephen King. I just now noticed that I had the book the other way around, but I haven't read that much of Stephen King. Like, I read The Shining, I read Misery, this is the third book by Stephen King that I'm reading, and then I have, I think it's called Revival by Stephen King in the house, so I can read it when I want, but I haven't read it yet. So I am not that versed in Stephen King, but for me, compared to The Shining and Misery, this is not, it doesn't pack a punch. It is not as great as all of those. So yeah, but I'm really enjoying it nevertheless, and of course I could think about rereading it, not now because I have a lot of things to read, but it's kind of fun. I do enjoy the perspective about alcoholism, which was in The Shining as well, and I believe it was better done in The Shining, obviously, but I like it in here, and I like how you can see in here, well, in The Shining you saw everything bad about it and how it could drive someone crazy and how it could potentially devastate your life, and in here you can see why you should ask for help and what good comes out of it. So I think that it's good that King found something nice to say about that topic, because I was expecting it to be fairly bad, as I've read in all of his books that I've read. Like, the topics of addiction are fairly strong and not very positives come out of it. But now I'm really enjoying it. I think this is a more positive book, and for that reason is not as creepy factored or not as unnerving in a way. Although now at the ending, when you are seeing the two factions clashing and the plot points happening, I'm kind of getting nervous, because it is still King, so I don't know how this is gonna end. This could end fairly badly, and I'm here just preaching how positive this book is, and then I turn the lights page and it's like a dead girl. I don't know, I don't know. So I'm gonna read a little bit more while I drink my milk and I eat my toasts that are probably cold by now. And yeah, I will check with you in the future. I hope that you like this visual, because with this sun, it is impossible not to be wearing my sunglasses. Just think about that, which is kind of good, because we have had a lot of rain, so having a sunny day is actually nice, but the fact that the sun is really in front of my face kind of is getting me a little bit sun-faced. So I don't know when I last updated you guys. I think it was probably Friday, but now it is Monday the 16th. Yeah, the 16th. And I finished Dr. Sleep on Friday, I think. Yeah, on Friday. And it was pretty cool. It wasn't the scariest Stephen King book that I've ever read, but I don't think that the book was for that. I think the book was kind of, how do I say this? It was kind of a redemption arc to characters with alcoholism in a way, because if you've read The Shining, you know that the main character, Jack Torrance, has an alcohol issue, and what it is shown in The Shining is how that escalates to a negativity point. And in Dr. Sleep, we see the other face of things, which is kind of like when things, I'm sorry, I got distracted because there was someone I know passing by. But you are shown the other side of things, which is when you actually ask for help and when you actually can overcome an addiction. And that was, I think it was pretty interesting. The story in itself was interesting, although, well, it was gripping. I read it fairly fast for a 500 and something page book, but it wasn't at all as creepy as I was expecting, which it's kind of a normal thing. You can't always write the creepiest shit books ever, so for me it's fine. And now I'm starting my potions exam, which is, you probably can see it because when I get out of the house with small books, I bring them on my book sleeve. But this is Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor, and I read yesterday 2 chapters of it, so I'm at page 25 now. And oh my god, is it beautiful. Like, I love it. And her writing is on point as always, fairly whimsical, beautiful writing. The story is going to be amazing, I know it, and I already have a favorite quote, and I've only read 25 pages. So I have great expectations for this one, and I think that I will be able to finish it fairly fast in a way. Obviously I'm not going to speed through it because I love to enjoy her writing, to just be able to read and to just embrace all of the worlds that she builds and everything that she talks about. But at the same time, I think I won't take too long because I'm fairly interested in seeing what is going on. Like, I couldn't read any more yesterday because I have been having terrible sleep schedules, so I decided to just focus on my well-being and just sleep a little bit more. So that's why I couldn't read. And I'm sorry for the sunglasses. I know it's probably kind of creepy. You can't see my eyes, but it's just, the sun is right there. So I am not feeling like taking the glasses off. But yeah, I started Stranger Dreamer, and now I have my internship for the last week. So it's going to be on Monday the 16th, and then on Wednesday the 18th. And then it's over, so I would have a little bit more time, which is good. and I have fairly 5 minutes left before I have to go in, so I'm going to try and read a few more pages, which I don't really enjoy because I like to just read Lady Taylor's books by chapters because they are so engrossing that I can't stop reading, but I have to make the most of my time, so I'm just going to read a little bit. And update is over. So I am currently searching for my glasses, for my sunglasses, because the ones that I had in the car are the ones that always stay in the car, because they protect me more against the sun. So I'm trying to find some not as good ones to just go and have a walk, because today for a long time we have sun and we have a little bit of warmth, although there's a lot of wind. So I decided to try and show you guys a little bit of the beach that stays right in my city. And since I'm going to go there with you and showing you that, I decided that I am going to take as well what was I saying? Oh, that I'm going to take as well my book, Strange the Dreamer, so I can read a little bit more, because I love Strange the Dreamer, and I'm thinking that maybe with a little bit of sun and the sound of waves, it will be deeper than in the house. So I'm gonna go for a walk a little bit, and then I have to work on my thesis, as usual. So yeah, just stay tuned to see the beach, I guess. So you probably can't hear me because of the wind, but I am at the beach, and I am going to show you a little bit of our beach here from my city so that you can see it. I am with weird glasses, I know, but I love them. They're just so retro, and I got Strange the Dreamer, and I'm gonna just read for a little bit, because although it is very windy, we are having a very lucky day because the sand is not going up. Normally when you have north winds in here, the sand just goes everywhere, literally. So we're having a good day. So I think I can bear the wind for a little, just to read a few chapters, and then I'm gonna go home. So I'm just gonna show you our beach, and I hope that you enjoy it. So this is our beach. It starts right there where those bars are, and that's a playground in the beach, and in here we have some playground-ish things to play football or to play other stuff, and it only finishes at that end, so it's a fairly big amount of beach. I don't know if you can see the sea,